Good day everyone. We are the group 5 and today we will be presenting the chapter 2 entitled The School as an Organization. In this presentation, we will discuss how schools function as organizations, the theories that guide them, and their importance in the society. Our objectives for this presentation are the following. First, we will discuss various organizational leadership and management theories, which will help us understand how schools are guided and managed as organizations. Second, we will explain organizational structure and of reforms in the Department of Education, since it plays a big role in shaping our educational system. And third, we will discuss the functions of the school as an educational organization to see why schools are important in the development of individuals and society as a whole. Schools is considered one of the major institutions that are make up in society. It is a place where people of different ages learn and acquire knowledge. Schools can be in different levels such as basic education, technical vocational, or higher education institutions. This means that schools are not just buildings where students study, but they serve as foundation of society. Schools help shape individuals by teaching values, knowledge and skills that prepare them to contribute to the community and the nation. Without schools, society would struggle to develop educated and responsible citizens. Sabihin nito, ang organization ang gumagabay at kumukontrol kung paano natutulungan ang mga tao. Sa paralan, kasama dito ang mga alintuntunin, pamumuno at instruktura na tumutulong sa mga guro at estudyante na magtulungan. Sa pampubliko man o pribadong institusyon, nagbibigay ang organisasyon ng kaayusan at direksyon para sa maabot ng mga maayos ang mga layunin. According to Kashap, this shows that from the beginning of the human history, people cannot achieve big goals alone. They need organizations to unite their efforts. Taylor's idea adds that good planning and efficient system make organizations more productive. In schools, this means teachers and administrators must work together with clear rules so that education becomes effective for the students.
So now let's discuss the four principles of scientific management by Taylor. Number one is science, not a rule of thumb. Develop a science of each element of man's work, which replaces the old rule of thumb. Science, not a rule of thumb. Instead of using trial and error or just guessing, the worker should use scientific methods, do task efficiently. Like for example, kung sa una og magputulog kahoy magdepende ra sa tao ang or sa iyang kaugalingon ang estilo. Pero karon ginagamit ang scientific way like measuring the right angle and tool para paspas og hapsay ang ilahang pagkatrabaho. Number 2, scientific selection of the worker. Scientifically select and then train, teach, and develop the workman, whereas in the past and he chose his own work and trained himself the best he could. Scientific selection of the worker. Ang mga trabahante dapat pilion specifically based sa ilahang skills ug abilities o niya i-train ug i-develop. Example, kung kinahanglan og welder, dili basta-basta lang bisan kinsa ang kuhaon. Ang HR mopili og husto ug tama nga tao nga naay skills o niya i-train pagyud para mas mapaayo ang iyahang trabaho o ma-improve ang iyahang skills. Number 3, management and labor cooperation rather than conflict. Heartily cooperate with the men so as to ensure all of the work being done is accordance with the principle of science which has been developed. Management and labor cooperation rather than conflict. Ang management o mga workers dapat magkahiusa o mag-cooperate kaysa mag-away. Kung cooperative, mas maayo ang resulta. For example, kung ang management o trabahante magkasinabot unsaon pag-improve ang production, mas paspas o taas ang quality kaysa magsigi og lalis. Mas nindot ang result kung ang isa ka grupo nagkahiusa or nagkasinabot kontra sa grupo nga wala nagkasinabot. Number 4, scientific training of the worker. Workers should be trained by expert using scientific method. Scientific training of the worker. Ang workers dapat i-train specifically by experts dili lang magkat-on sa experience. Like for example, sa factory ang operator gi-train gamit ang updated machines o scientific method dili lang kutob sa self-learning.
Good day everyone, I am Katin Miutaza. So now let's continue to the 14th principle for successful management by Ban 2009. So first is division of work. From the word itself, division of work means sinhati ang trabaho depende sa skills ng bawat isa. For example, sa isang group project, kung magaling ka sa math, ikaw sa computation. Kung creative ka, ikaw sa visuals. At kung confident ka magsalita, ikaw ang presenter. With proper division of work, mas mabilis matapos ang task at maayos ang resulta. At nade-develop ang teamwork dahil sa bawat isa nagagamit yung kanilang strengths. It is also important because it avoids confusion at natututo tayong mag-focus sa ating own specialization. So next is authority and responsibility. From the word authority, it means power to give orders. Pero laging kasama nito ang responsibility. For example, teachers have the authority to assign activities, pero may responsibility din siya to guide us and make sure we learn. Sa group work naman, kung leader ka, may authority ka to assign tasks. Pero accountable ka rin sa output ng grupo. It is also important because it builds trust at nagiging balance ang power and accountability. Next is discipline. From the word discipline, it means following rules and showing respect. For example, kailangan pumasok ng maaga, magsabit ng assignment on time, at makinig sa teachers. Without discipline, magiging magulo ang class at mahirap ma-achieve ang goals. It is also important because it maintains order and respect at nakakatulong ito para maging successful ang buong organization. So, next is unity of command. From the word unity, ibig sabihin isa lang. Unity of command means bawat estudyante dapat may isang leader or teacher na sinusunod. For example, kung dalawang teachers ang sabay nagbigay ng magkaibang instruction, malilito ang student kung sino ang susundin. One boss, one command. It is also important because it gives clarity and avoids confusion in performing tasks. And next is unity of direction. From the word direction, ibig sabihin, isang direction or goal. Lahat ng members dapat nagtatrabaho toward one objective. For example, sa sports, basketball, iba-iba ang position pero iisa lang ang game plan to win. Sa school group projects naman, iba-iba man tayo ng rules pero lahat naka-focus sa isang goal, matapos at maipasa ng maayos ang project. It is also important because it unites everyone and motivates the group to reach success. And that's all my report. Thank you for listening.
Good day, everyone. I'm Cristal P. Morello, and I'm going to continue the report of Successful Management by Van 2009. So number 6, subordination of individual interests to general interests. This is about prioritization of organization interests over personal interests, which apply to all members of the organization. The interests of the organization should always be put above personal interests. If employee only thinks of themselves, the company will not achieve its goal. For example, an employee may prefer to leave work early for personal reasons, but if the team is rushing to finish a project, the employee should stay and help until the task is done for the benefit of the whole organization. Number 7, remuneration. Remuneration is about rewards and compensation to effort that have been made, which could be in the form of monetary or non-monetary, that keeps employee motivated and productive. Employees should be fairly rewarded for the work they do. Reward can be financial, salary incentive, or non-financial, recognition, or promotion. Fair remuneration motivates employees to stay productive. Number 8, degree of centralization. This implies the concentration of decision-making authority at the top management. Centralization means that decision-making power is concentrated at the top management. For example, is in the military. Decisions are highly centralized. Orders come from the top. Number 9, scalar chain is about the hierarchical structure that always present at any organization. There should be a clear line of an area of authority from the top management down to the lowest level. Example is in a hospital. Instructions flow from the hospital director, department heads, to senior doctors, to nurses, to staff. Everyone knows who to report to. Number 10. This pertains to the order and safety of employee in order to function properly at work. People and resources must be in the right place at the right time for the organization to function effectively. Order creates safety, organization, and efficiency. Example is in a construction site. Materials are stored in designated areas and workers are assigned to specific tasks. This prevents accident and ensures smooth workflow.
Equity. In schools, equity means that everyone, like teachers, staff, and students, should be treated fairly and without bias. This is not only about giving the same resources, but also about providing what each person needs to succeed. For example, some students may need extra support, while others may excel faster. Equity ensures that both groups receive the help of the help and the challenges they need. When they earn fairness and equal opportunity, students feel valued and respected. Teachers are more motivated and the whole school becomes a safe and positive learning environment. Ultimately, equity builds trust and harmony within the organization. Next is stability. Stability in schools is to in tenor means that teachers and staff are not easily replaced or dismissed as long as they are doing their jobs well. When employees know that their hard work and good performance are recognized, they feel more secure in their position. This sense of security encourages them to stay longer, invest more effort, and build stronger relationships with their students and colleges. For example, if a teacher knows their job is stable, they will be more motivated to prepare quality lessons, attend trainings, and give their best in teaching. On the other hand, if employees always feel uncertain about their jobs, they might lose motivation and even think of leaving. This is why stability is important. It creates loyalty, improves performance, and helps the school achieve its goals. The next one is initiatives. Initiatives is very important because it allows people in the organization to think freely and contribute ideas. In schools, this means that teachers should not only follow instructions but also be encouraged to create new teaching strategies, classroom activities for or projects that can be improved learning. Students can also show initiative by suggesting programs, joining activities, or starting small projects that benefit the school community. When initiative is supported, people feel trusted and valued. This leads to more creativity, stronger teamwork, and sense of ownership because everyone feels that their contribution matter. Without initiative, an organization may become stagnant and less effective. But with it, in schools can continue to grow and adapt to new challenges. The last one is Spirit the Corps is about teamwork, unity, and trust within an organization. In schools, and these principles is seen when teachers share ideas, staff cooperate in their tasks, and students support each other in the learning. When there is a spirit the corps, people feel they belong to a team, which builds morale, reduces conflicts, and creates positive school environment. This unity makes the organization stronger and more effective in reaching its goals.